Hello, this is Metal Gear, welcome back to the channel. We are back on Gran Turismo Sport for the daily races this week, and we're starting off today with daily race B at Tsukuba. We are in the Subaru WRX and starting from second place, and we have a lovely little battle here with the Japanese driver, who has been quite the thorn in my side. So first lap here, we start off with the slow right-hander hairpin, and we're heading down towards the Dunlop curb in hot pursuit. I think in this race we have mostly WRXs, a few of the Lancer Evos, but the WRX is definitely the car you want to use here. So you see the Japanese driver, he goes a little bit onto the grass there and picks himself up a 0.5 second penalty. Rip. Looking behind us just now, you can see the field is tightly bunched up and battling, but we are off after the leader. If we can get close enough, we might be able to pick up first place when he comes around on the next lap to serve his penalty. So we cross the line, end of the first lap. It's a sub 1 minute lap here at Tsukuba, very short track. We have 8 laps, no tyre wear, of course, in Daily Race B. So it's just going to be a straight fight to the finish, not much strategy involved at all. With the Japanese driver coming up to serve his penalty in just a couple of corners time, I want to keep it as close as possible so that we'll have a chance down the back straight, if you can really call it a straight, to overtake him going into the last corner. You need to be very, very close. I don't think we're going to be close enough here. We're about a second and a half behind. You'll see he's coming up to the penalty line now. He moves over to the right, as most people do. Are we going to be able to get up enough to make a move? I don't think so. No, we have to just stay here behind. Follow him around this long last corner, which just seems to go on forever. You're always wanting to put the power down, but you risk running wide. And if you do, then you'll get off onto the grass and hit the fence, which is what nobody wants. So we're going to ride on board here, see how close we can get. The track here is very, very narrow, very tight, not a lot of places to pass really. So we're going to come up here around the left-handed Dunlop curve, I think it's called. It's very tight, and as we ride on board here, we're going to go through this quick right-hander. You have to give a little bit of a lift there, maybe dab the brakes, get right over onto the dirt through this left-hander, and then down into the final chicane, hard on the brakes, get it turned around, get on the power nice and early, and then into the slipstream down the back straight once again to come to the final corner where we are going to go extra long around to the right, back onto the main straight. And what happened there? It's a little glitch I've been noticing here in Gran Turismo Sport. We have a bit of a Mario Kart situation, just hopping over there for the Japanese driver. Maybe that's a bit of a superpower. Maybe have to invest on how he did that. But okay, jumping back onto the TV camera, we have the Japanese driver now. We're on board with him once again around the Dunlop curb. The track just comes fast and furious at you. You don't have any time to rest. The driver, he runs a little wide here and gets it sideways. We're gonna have a run going down into the tight right-hander. We're up the inside, but we overshoot it just a little bit too much, and we're going to run side by side down the back straight. Who is going to come out ahead? He just has the little bit more momentum. He has the inside line for this last corner, and once again we're going to have to tuck in behind and just follow through this long right-hander. He is onto the grass a little bit. We've got the better run. We've got the speed. We're going to go down the inside now, and too bad. We have once again just gone in that little bit too deep, and he gives us the cutback. So some excellent driving there, great battling for position. But unfortunately we just didn't have the skill on the brakes this time to make a move stick. So we're going to attempt something again if we can get close enough. Around the quick right-hander, once again sticking left to the track, swinging it a little bit wide, trying to break in a straight line as possible, and we run a little bit deep. We almost make contact with him. We just manage to avoid it only by inches, and thank God for that, otherwise we could have got ourselves a penalty. So we're gonna just ride on board with the leader here, facing backwards, see how close we can get, running up into the first corner again. Can we make another move? No, not that time, because we ran that little bit deep. We just have fallen back enough to let the Japanese driver breathe easily for a moment. Riding back on board with me now, we're on lap 6, we've only got 3 laps to go, including this one, and we're pushing hard, a little bit too hard. We run wide there at the quick right-hander, and as you can see, we've lost a ton of time, probably falling back to about 2 seconds behind. We're probably out of the slipstream now. Yes, we're definitely out of the slipstream, and at this point, with the lap being so short and the margins being so fine, it's going to be very difficult to catch back up. As we come over to cross the line at the end of the 6th lap, we've lost 0.8 of a second on that lap. So unfortunately the fight is well and truly over. We're going to cut ahead near to the 8th and final lap. We're going to now speed things up as we head down the back straight for the last time and around the final corner to finish in 2nd. It was a good fight. My hats off to the Japanese driver. He did a great job. It was clean and fair, really entertaining battle. I hope you enjoyed it. But we're going to skip on over to Daily Race C this time, and we have Bathurst in Group 3. So as you can see, I am in the Corvette and starting from 4th, but we have a huge mix of cars on the grid. We've got the Beetle there on pole, we've got the Aston Martin GTR. So let's get underway. 9 laps for this Daily Race C, and we have a soft tyre and medium tyre available. So coming into the first corner, we have a little look up the inside of the GTR, and we're going to have a drag up the race. Who is going to be faster, the Corvette or the GTR? The GTR seems to have the slipstream, so I tuck in back behind him, and on the run up the hill, are we going to have a little look up the inside here? Yes, we do, but we're on cold tires. We're starting on the softs. But nonetheless run a little bit wide and get squirrely on the exit and actually lose a position to the Aston Martin, so not a good start. And so at this point of the video, I have to admit my hidden shame. I am an Australian driver and I am terrible at Bathurst. So when I saw Bathurst come up on the daily races this week, I wasn't looking forward to it. We jumped into qualifying and I set a time which was something like 1500th ranked in the region, and I thought, oh my god, I am so slow. But then I realized that I was setting on the medium tires and the soft tires are available. So we're going to ride on board here as we come down the hill. You can see how much fun this track can be, even if I do feel like I'm very slow. It is a lot of fun once you get used to it. And we're coming down to the corner, which is probably the most important on the track in terms of time loss, because if you get that one wrong, you just lose time all the way down this back straight. I think it's called the Conway Street. God, I really should give my Australian citizenship back because I do not know much about Bathurst. But anyway, we see the Aston Martin. He serves a penalty, so we get back up into 4th place, and the Porsche is behind us. He's not close enough to have a go yet. We see the GTR kick up a little bit of dust, and I run wide, which the Porsche now runs into the back of me, picks himself up a penalty. Rip, sorry about that. And now you see the GTR is actually peeling into the pits on lap 1, so he's going for the 2-stop strategy, so he'll pit there. You see that on the left-hand side, he was on the mediums. Start of the 2nd lap, we have moved up 1 position, we're into 3rd. We still have the Porsche behind us, the guy from Hong Kong, the Hong Kongian? I don't know. He serves his penalty and drops right back, so we are in a little bit of a lonely position now in 3rd place. We have a little bit of a gap up to the leaders ahead of us, and now a gap to the drivers behind. So we'll use this opportunity to just ride on board and enjoy. I'll take you through a little bit of a lap guide. So we have a second gear left corner here as we begin to climb up to the top of the hill. You'll notice the tree there on the left, that's your turning point, a slight lift to get the front of the car turned in, and then you want to stay over to the left here. If you are over too far to the right, you will end up in the wall. Another lift there, hit the curb on the outside, lift once again here to get the weight at the front. Again, turn in nice and early. Now as you approach, you want to brake just before the Audi sign, get the car into a straight line, brake as much as you can, and now we are going up on board with second place. So it looks like the battle for the lead is between a Lexus and a Beetle. Where do you get the chance to hear that other than GT Sport? I don't know, maybe in Forza Motorsport, but who wants to play that? PlayStation represent. Don't at me. Well, you can if you want. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Metagear, just META7GEAR. Gotta get those plugs in, don't we? Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, we're back on board for the left to right-hander. You hit the apex on the left, get it turned in nice and early for the right, get the rotation. Now you're looking for the 150 board, sorry, the 100 board, brake there, get it turned in down into second gear, straighten the car up as much as you can, and accelerate down towards the end of the lap. And we set a 202.9, that's the fastest lap of the race so far. And yeah, we're making a little bit of progress on the leaders, so we're just going to speed it up as we head up the hill here. Then we'll sit back and just enjoy the visual and audio experience for a bit before we get into the next phase of the race with the pit stops. So end of lap 3, we jump on board with the Beetle in second place. He does a 2:03.7 and we cross the line and do a 2:03.4. So we've gained over 0.3 of a second and we're making good progress. So we're just going to skip ahead now to the end of lap 4. And if you take a look in the bottom left corner, you'll see my tire wear, and then we'll skip ahead to the Beetle, and you'll see his tire wear. So he's used his tires up a little bit more than us, and he's actually going to go into the pits now. It's probably a lap or two earlier than what you really want to be doing. You want to stay on the softs for the longer of the two stints, and then do the medium only maybe 4 laps. So we're going to go 5 laps and pit at the end of this one, so we need to have a good lap and we have a chance of overcutting him and coming out in second place. So as it is that time of the race, we're going to check in with the leader in the Lexus, see how his tires are doing, and if you take a look, we are doing a lot better. So I think we're going to gain a lot of time on this lap, so let's just enjoy the visuals as we go up the mountain, and we can see the Beetle just there in the background. So you don't lose a lot of time in the pit lane here, that's why the 2-stop is a possibility. To be honest, the reason I don't go for the 2-stop is because I am garbage at the pit entry, as you will see at the end of this lap. I just lose too much time there, so I opt for the one-stop strategy and minimize my chances of plugging it into the wall. So you see there at the exit of that left-hander, we get a bit of oversteer. That's going to lose us time all the way down the straight. That's not what we want, because we are pushing on this lap to try and get out ahead of the Beetle who pitted a lap earlier. You need about a 5 or 6 second gap. So once again, just checking the tires of the leader, we have much better tires. So we've done a good job, just like we did last week at Laguna Seca, with conserving on tire wear. So as we come into the pit lane, I want to be really cautious. Don't want to end up hitting the wall and getting punted back onto the track like I did earlier in the week. And we're into the lane, and what a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this Adobe Premiere editing mastery. I've got a little inset, so it's a straight fight in the pits between the leader and myself. Who will come out first? It's Team Corvette, and we jump on board with the Beetle as he rounds the first corner, and look at that. Jumping 2 positions in the pits, we have hit the lead. And we cut back. Here was the former leader. He is driving a Lexus, but his car is red, so perhaps he has the Ferrari pit crew, and that explains his problems. It seems like he's out of the race. So we go back up on board with the Beetle. He has the much warmer tires at this point, so he has the advantage. We can see how close he is going to get to me here. Coming right up, I am having to feather the throttle out of the traction zones, and he will be on my tail, wanting to get back into second place, well, now first place. So it's going to be a close fight, but the advantage of having the Corvette is we are much quicker in the straight line. So even though he is going to be on my ass like what, grass on a monkey? No, that doesn't work. He's definitely going to be following closely across the top of the hill here, but you'll see as we head down the back straight and again up the main straight after turn 1, we will have the advantage and start to pull away. Hopefully, well, anything can happen. We could make a mistake, hit the wall there. Nope, we get through all fine, and now the Corvette gets to stretch its legs. We're short shifting, as you can see. That's just the way this car is driven. I'm not really sure why, but that is the best way to get the pace out of the car. So a little bit of an oversteer moment for the Beetle out of the left-right chicane there. Probably a lot of the times what happens in these situations is you find yourself falling behind in the pit stops or for some little mistake, and you suddenly start trying to overdrive the car in an attempt to catch up. So we're at the start of lap 7, and we'll stay on board the Beetle here so you can really see the advantage that the Corvette has in the straight line. We are just pulling away, probably gaining a second over the course of this front straight. So really, the Beetle is a good car for handling across the top of the mountain, but it just doesn't have the straight line speed of what the Corvette does, or something like the McLaren or GTR. Really just a mesmerizing section of track to drive. When you get it right, it feels really so good. So let's jump ahead now towards the end of the race, and we'll see if I can go from being a complete pleb in Bathurst to actually taking a race victory. So as you can see, we've jumped up to the last lap. We're going across the top of the hill, and we have a comfortable lead to second place. So we've really pulled away. I think it was a 3 or 4 second gap. And we just have this last downhill section to go before the back straight, and we will be standing on the top step of the podium. An Australian winner at Bathurst. Who would have ever thought it, especially because I consider this one of my weaker tracks on the race. So let's speed it up down towards the last corner and see that we don't throw it into the gravel. So we make it cleanly through the left-right chicane, and just a few hundred meters to go now. Brake nice and early, get the car turned in, and look at that, we cross over the line, take the checkered flag, and we have won the race. So thanks once again for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you liked the video, and I hope to see you next week. Music, play me out.